Shalom to you, my friend, to whoever is watching. Welcome to another training on MySQL Workbench. This is going to be part 8. So far, so good. In the previous tutorials, we could already create a view, a default constraint, we could concatenate, create a start procedure, a subquery, our first challenging function, a union, a trigger, a limit clause, a join, a time travel accurate table with the past, present, and future. We could create an index, add a unique constraint, and we could also remove duplicates in short and long version. That was still in 2024. Now, Happy New Year 2025 to you all, and let's go back to our own database for the practice of using different logical operators, using the aggregate functions, different ones. Also practicing the selection of specific rows and using wildcards. How about that? Okay, here we are. This is where we stopped last time with our last table here called fruits. Now this is where we're going to start, and this is one of our tables. I hope you remember our work. So I'm going to start with a comment first here. Let's write simply using, yes, now using aggregate functions. Examples, let me get it right here. And let's start the first one. Let's go to the table orders to see what we have there. Select all from orders. We're going to take a look at this one. Okay, we have a lot of rows here. Okay, let's do that here. We start here with the select. This is how it starts, and this is the pattern. For instance, we want the average. So we're going to type AVG. You can see that here too. I'm going to let it in uppercase. And in our table, let's choose, for instance, the order purchase. We have one called order purchase here. Let's get that one. We want the average of order purchase, for instance. Then we close the parentheses, and then as we are just going to call it simply also AVG purchase, like this. This is going to be the title of our function, and then you give the name of the table from where you want to get it. And we have chosen the table orders. So first of all, we are going to look for the average of the order purchase. So now we can just run. As you can see here, if you want to do the average, you can always go to the context help, and they're going to give you the pattern of what you of how you can do it. Okay, now let's try. We are going to run ours, and it's working. And here you can see the average of order purchased. That's a big amount. Okay, now if you want to do further, I'm going to make it easy. I'm just going to copy paste and adapt. So I'm going to take this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to do different things here. Let's start. Okay, first we have the average, and now we want to do, for instance, the sum. So just in front of you, I'm going to get sum, and then as I'm going to get here sum. Easy, huh? And we are going to be staying by the same column now with the order purchase, because it's easier to understand like this. Okay, now we are going to run the sum one, and it's working, and here we have the sum of order purchase. You remember our table, huh? So it's working, yeah? It's working pretty well. Okay, now let's go ahead and count here in front. So we're gonna count, and same thing here. We're gonna change the title. I'm gonna put just C and T for count, and here we can run again. We run for the count, and it's working. And here we have the count. We have 9 order purchase, 9. And now let's go ahead. Always take a look at our tables, huh? So now we want to, for instance, we want to min and max. How about that? So we're going to min here for the one after the count. Min for minimum, huh? Of course. And here we're going to change. We get a big MIN like this. And we can execute this one. So this is our minimum, 190.40. Then of course you can go back to the table and check if it's true. 190 is the minimum, and that's true. Apparently we have 190.40 here, which is the minimum value. Okay, now we can max here. So we're gonna max here MAX. I'm gonna put it all uppercase. And here we change, same thing, MAX, and then we can execute. And we have our max value. Then we go back to our, this is 95, 50, 25, and we go back to our table to see if it's the maximum value. And indeed, this is the maximum value right here. Okay, so we are good with examples of using aggregate functions. Of course, you can make more, but I just wanted to show you the pattern. Okay, now we can move on. Next, we want to use some different logical operators. Let me get you some examples. First, I'm going to start again with a comment using different operators, logical operators. Okay, so here we want to start with let's say again use the table orders here, for instance, from orders again. Let's see, oh, it's right here under my nose. I don't have to execute it again. Okay, now select all, of course, from orders, and then we want a semicolon. Okay, we have our first one here, our first logical operator example here, using where or. Select all from orders where order ID more than 113 or order PMT method equal JCB. So we are going to execute that and see. And we have everything which is above 113. Starting with 113, you can see that we have only above 113. Okay, and order PMT method JCB is here. We good. Now the second one, I control C this one, and I'm gonna stick it right here and change, like where, let's take for instance where order purchase, for instance order purchase, and here we're going to get a between 600 and 800, for instance. Get rid of this. Okay, and now we're good. We can execute this one. And here we are. We have our order purchase between 600 and 800 appearing down here. Okay, we good. So let's get another example. For instance, I'm gonna take it again and stick it down here and modify. So here we're going to Control C, and this time we're going to get in. Okay, select all from orders, where order, let's get here order ID, in, and then you choose what you want to see. So I open the parenthesis here, and then you close the parenthesis, and you get your semicolon. I get rid of this part, and we can execute this one. Oh, the ID is not good here. I have to make it lowercase, of course, and we can execute. And here we have the ID 111, 113, and 115 only appearing. This is how we use the logical operators. Okay, now we can do the same type of thing by selecting only specific rows of a table. Now we're going to go back to the table. For this example, let me get the comment here. We're doing something else now. Specific rows. Taking a look at the table we want to use, I think I'm going to use all from customers. Let's take a look at our table. Yes, and maybe another one. Let's try also with the table all from, let's go and take a look at invest. This is our table, invest here. Take a look at it. Okay, now let's start our specific selections, row selections. Okay, the pattern is going to be select all from customers where customer ID, for instance, equal 3. You just want to see this one. Okay, you want to see only the selected rows number 3, and this is what you get from the whole table. This is how you do it simply, and there are so many other ways. Now we're going to look at all of them, so I'm going to just copy paste and then modify. Okay, so speeding the process. Now we have this line right here. It is where customer ID equal null. Okay, we want to see only those who are equal null. We execute, and here we have the rows with the null values. And then we want to see, for instance, where customer ID is not 5, not equal 5. This is the pattern here, not equal. It's an exclamation mark and an equal. And then we execute it. We see, and here we have everything which is not 5. You can see it here by the customer ID. We have 1 to 7 except the 5. So you didn't want to see the number 5, the row number 5. Now, after that, we have where you want to see only the customer last name called Dadarela. You want to see only her. So this is how you give it. It's always the same pattern, but at the end, you, of course, you modify accordingly. Now we execute that line, and we have only the specific one called Dadarela. Dafunte or Datunfe. I just these are random names. Execute that, and we have all ages here, and we have nothing under 13 here by the customer age column. We have everything except under 30. We have all above 30 years old. And now for the last one, we want to do it with the date. So we want to go to the table invest. Let's go and take a look at it again for this one, for this example. We needed a date. So here in the table invest, we want to see only the column with inventory date, which is equal 2024-05-01. So we go ahead, as you can see, we have a bunch of rows here in the table invest with a lot of dates, but we want to see only this date. So we execute this one and see, and we have these two customers with this date. Okay, this is how we select specific rows on MySQL Workbench for our database. Now we want to do something else, which is also, these are good, important, basic to know. Huh? We want to use some wildcards. So I'm going to add a comment here using wildcards. That's also good to know. And let's start here. I want to, go to different tables now, because we have so many tables and we use most of the time customers and orders. This time I want to use another table. Let's use, for instance, table products, and I'm going to use also another table. Let me Control C here and then modify. I'm going to use and we want to use our table products. This is our table GNU collections. Of course, it has to do with my website. Okay, and then we have our table mails looking like that, and our table orders you already know. So what type of wildcard examples are we going to do? Let's start with the GNU collection. I'm going to take it from here, and it's going to be where, starting with the where clause again. Jewelry, for example, jewelry name, and here we gotta get a like, and we need these quotations. These are very important, and a percent. And here I'm going to get select all from GNU collection where jewelry name like A. Execute this one, and we have here our, I know it's finishing with where is the jewelry name, and it's finishing with A. So this is a wildcard example. So I'm going to take the same one, and I'm going to copy and paste it to change, to modify accordingly. Let me Control C here. Let's use the table products. So when you put the letter after the percent, is you are looking for the name, the jewelry name finishing with the letter A. So this, for this pattern, you can put, of course, uppercase or lowercase here. Now it's red because I'm not finished with this one. I want to rerun this one with a lowercase, and it's the same thing, just to show you that we were really looking for a name ending with A. Okay, now let me go back to where I wanted to come, and here I just wanted to be modifying the table name. We want to use the table products. So we go here, products, and we keep the where, and this time it's going to be, we are product ID, and we remove the name back here, and then we want it again like, but this time it's going to be numbers. So here we need underscore twice, and then the number 4, for instance, and we have our semicolon. So now I'm just going to execute it so you can see what it does. Okay, so what were we looking for in the table product? So here we have the order ID 114. It means that we were looking for the ID number ending with 4. The product ID, the product ID ending with 4. This is what we got. Okay, if we go back to our table products, you're going to see that we have done it right. This is our table product, and we wanted the one ending with 4, which is 104 here, as you can see. Okay, now we can rerun it, and it's not going to give us an error if we rerun this one, because these are just wildcards. Let's get another example right now. We're gonna use another table, but I'm just gonna take this one again, Control C, use our table mails, for instance, for this example, and we're gonna get here where messages, because I know we have a column called messages, like, and here we want it sky, for instance. Let's see, we have to add here a %, and we want to run that and see what it does. Okay, here in our table mails, I wanted all the messages starting like sky, and nothing happened. Let's see our table mails. Do we have anything starting with sky? No. I thought we had also Skype here in the messages, but we have Zoom call, messengers, Insta, TikTok, and WhatsApp. So we're going to get something else. We're going to get, for instance, Zoom here. For instance, like Zoo, we execute and we have one with Zoom call. Okay, now if we go back, we can make another example. For instance, Insta, and we execute, and we have one here, messages with Instagram calls. Okay, this is how we make the wildcards. Let's get another example, a last example. I'm going to get this line again, Control C it, Control V, and this time we want to use the table orders, one of our fave table to work with. And where this time we're going to get, for instance, the order purchase. I know that we have that column, order purchase date. Let's work with date here too, like it's already here from before. And here we want to get a date inside to change. Let's say we want, let me go back to our table orders. So I go here, so I have some dates. Let me choose one. I'm going to get the 2024. Let's take the 04, and then we don't know. Like now we get 2 underscore and the semicolon. Now we can execute and see, and we have nothing, we have no date. That you can run it eternally like that. It's not going to give you anything. You see, I execute here just to show you. This is our last example, which is very important. Nothing is happening. I go by tab mails, and I see that, hey, I have a date here. No, it's table orders. Let me go back to the table orders. I go by table orders, and I see like, okay, I have a table here with 2023 and 03. Why is nothing happening? You see, like here we can go back here and put again, I don't know, that was 05, and we have things with 05 here in the table, but nothing's happening. Why? Why do you think it is? Okay, this is very important. If we forget the little minus here, nothing's gonna happen. So we need this little minus here. This is very subtle, so we need it. When you put it with a double underscore, then it's gonna work. So now we can get, let's put and we run, and we have it. Now we have it. Okay, so we need this little minus here. So we are good now with our using wildcards examples. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the common ones, the ones you are going to need the most in your database. Okay, I hope you like that. And of course, I don't have to remind you that it's so important to always save. Then I'm going to scroll up a little bit so that we can remember everything. This is everything we have done so far. I'm going to scroll inside like that. So we have performed the using of aggregate functions, the logical operators, and the selection of specific rows, and we finished with the use of wildcards. I hope you liked it so far. And as I said before, it's important to save. I'm going to go ahead this time and save it as number 8. Keep it warm for our next tutorial if God's willing. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Bye bye.